We are really excited about another recruiting class, I guess our 11th at the University of Texas. It's interesting when you start looking at the kids and how they've grown up over the last 10 years. The kids that signed today with us, including the 9 that have been here for the last month, were 8 years old when we first got to Texas. So all they know about the University of Texas football program is us. When you start looking at their profiles, one had Roy Williams as their hero in sports. One had Major Applewhite. One had Michael Huff. So it's really interesting to go back and look at why kids sign and what they feel. And after 10, 11 years of this here, we feel like we have a pretty good idea of what we need and who will come. As a football coach, a full-time football coach, this is my 33rd signing class, 34 I guess. So we've seen a lot of different things pop up over time. National Signing Day is a wonderful time for people. These young men have worked their whole lives to have a dream to go to college, and across the country at the 120 Division 1A schools, a lot of people got their dream schools today. And it should be a proud moment for them, and it should be a real proud moment for their parents and high school coaches and teammates that have helped them, and it is a dream. It's one of the times in your life that changes the direction of your life, where you're going and what you're doing. You figure graduating from high school is one thing, but getting a college scholarship, then you graduate from college, hopefully you go to the NFL or get your job out of school, getting married, having children. So they're just different things that change in your life, and this is a huge moment for these young people, and I know they're proud. It's also really, really important to remember that it's more important that you concern yourself about the guys you get and not the ones that did not come. One of the bad things about recruiting at Texas is just the large majority of our guys are committed in the spring or by August. I think we only had one guy commit to us after August 1st. So our recruiting is hot in the spring and everybody gets excited about it. We're not going to be a splash in the end. That's just not who we are, and it usually doesn't work that way for us. But I'll never forget Lou Holtz saying that you better worry about the ones you sign, because you're around them every minute of every day for the next 4 or 5 years. The guys that did not come, if you play their team and they're healthy and they play the day you play them, and they start, you'll see them possibly 4 times the rest of their life. And so you really need to worry about the ones that came. Also, it's really, really important as we're all working on the team concept to try to make sure that you get the guys that fit and the guys that want to come. If you have to talk somebody into coming, it probably doesn't work, because they have to work through some bad days and tough situations when they're in college, and you want them to love the place. You look at our group again, 19 of the 20 are from the state of Texas. The other young man, Nolan Brewster, basically grew up here. He was 8 years old when Tim came and joined our staff. So his really impressionable years in sports were at the University of Texas. So he'd been a Texas fan the entire time. We had a pretty good distribution across the state. We were able to sign 6 guys from the Central Texas area, which is more than normal for us, and it just shows you how much football in Central Texas is improving. It may be part because of the growth in the area. We have a lot more kids and people coming to town. 6 from the Dallas area, 3 from the Houston area, 2 from the Beaumont area, 2 from Brenham, 1 from Gilmer, and then Nolan Brewster from the city of Dallas. He went to school at Mullen, where Bo Scaife went to school, so we've had some success in that school already as well. When you study recruiting in this state, after 11 years, on the average, there's 350 young men that sign Division 1A football scholarships. On a year like this, which is the norm, we'll sign 18 to 22 players. Normally this year we signed 20. That means that there's 330 players that are good football players that will play in Division 1, most of them against us that we couldn't take. Evaluation is so key. If you take one and he doesn't get in school, it costs you another one. If you take one and he transfers, it costs you him and the one you would have signed that's really good if he didn't come. If one gets here and doesn't play because he's not good enough, there's another guy you could have signed that would have been good enough. So our whole key is evaluation in the 20 guys that we get, and who fits and who makes it here, and who plays really, really well. This year there's a maximum of 62 visits that you can have, official visits. We brought in 22 young men and signed 20 of them. And that's just phenomenal that our coaches have done such a great job of evaluating exactly who they want, especially with early recruiting being such a factor now, and you not being able to study the kids as much as you would like. These kids are really a close group. Most of them have been to our camps over the last 2 or 3 years. They've been coming to Texas football games as sophomores and juniors. They committed back in the spring, the large majority of them, so they've even know they were going to be teammates for a full year. And we feel like that since the national championship, one of our huge emphasis has to get back to being more of a team-oriented team, and lack of selfishness, and not being about you but being about team. And this class is a class that we feel like will fit those needs very well. We try to replace our juniors. So again, it's a class of needs. If you look at it, it's pretty broad-based by position. And at the same time now, with 2 juniors coming out this year for the first time in our program ever, we may have to look at starting to replace sophomores. Because if people are going to come out after their 3rd year, you actually have a guy that redshirts and plays 2 years and he goes to the NFL. It changes your numbers and changes your needs much quicker than it might in the past. So that's something that we will definitely have to consider as we get ready to move forward. But we felt like overall, again, it was a very good class, a class that we've known would be good for a long time, and thank goodness there weren't any defections today. That's what scares you, and these kids stood by their word, and since they've been committed for probably 2/3 of the year, they've had a lot of people come by and see them, a lot of coaches talk to them, a lot of people trying to get them to break their word, and every one of them stood by their word, and we're really, really happy with that. We had all these scholarships in by about 9:30 this morning. So it was an easy day for us, really, and not a day with a whole lot of drama as we waited on scholarships to get in. I would like to show the film and then talk about each one briefly. That is DJ Monroe batting the ball up, that will play corner for us as he broke on the ball and Nolan intercepting him.
He's a safety, right?
He will be a safety. He can play either safety. Again, about 6'2", 210 pounds. You can see he can run. We're really excited about Nolan. It was very interesting that with his dad being the head coach at Minnesota, we thought he might want to go play for his dad because he obviously loves his dad, and his brother's a quarterback there. And what he told his dad messed up. He shouldn't have had him at Texas because he grew up a Texas fan, and that's where he wanted to come. And good for his mom and dad that they allow him to follow his dream and come here as bad as Tim needed him. Blake Gideon is in school. He will play safety for us as well. Can play corner or safety. He played quarterback, he played running back, he played safety. This game against Pflugerville on TV, he just had a phenomenal night. He had a touchdown run, forced a fumble, had an interception. You can see he's got great speed. DJ Monroe may be the fastest young man in the state. He's been timed in track meets at a 10-300 meters. He's played corner, he's played receiver, and he's played tailback. You'll be able to see his speed in this film. We're planning on him playing corner for us. Woo. He's real fast. He gets from here to there real fast. Aaron Williams, I think, has been listed by some of the recruiting services as the #1 corner in the country. He is a 3-sport star. His dad played football at San Francisco College. He plays quarterback, he plays wide receiver, he has played running back some, and he's played defensive back. We're thin at defensive line, so Jarvis Humphrey, who won a state championship at Cedar Hill, is a junior. You can see him. He'll play inside as a 3 technique or a nose guard. Jarvis just runs over the right guard here. Weighs about 290. He's in the 6'1" range. Definitely be an inside player. You can see that one of his heroes is Casey Hampton. He can run. He's got really good quickness and plays well around the line of scrimmage. Keyston Randall is he's gained weight since these stats. He's at least 6'5", maybe 6'6". He's 290 pounds. I was at his school at Kelly last week. In fact, Coach Long, Dustin Long's dad's the coach at Kelly and Beaumont. We feel like he will definitely play next year inside. He's a basketball player. He's got great feet. His mom was a great basketball player at LSU. Justin Tucker, the thing that you notice more about Justin than anything else are the kickoffs. With the change in the kickoff rule, if you move this ball back to the 35 because he's kicking off from the 40, they would all still be 5 to 7 yards deep because he's able to kick the ball out of the back of the end zone. Just about every kick. We feel like he can be a real weapon for us if he continues to be able to kick that well.
Will he be redshirted, Coach?
We're not planning on redshirting anybody that can help us win a game. Emmanuel Acho, the brother of Sam Acho, he is about, we asked Sam downstairs, he's 220 now. He was the player of the year in their league. This is at St. Mark's. He's about 6'2½". Can really run. Sam tested out, I think, of 16 hours when he first got here, and Emmanuel's got the same type transcript. He's really quick. He will be a linebacker for us. This is Dravante Johnson, who could be a defensive end or linebacker for us. He can play the two outside places. He is in school now. He was also the player of the year in their league on defense. He'll be number 44 there at the top. He's tall, weighs about 230, and can really run. We will start him out in spring practice in 2 weeks, probably at one of the outside linebackers. But he's got great explosion and had a lot of sacks as a pass rusher, and we've got to get more sacks. Got to get more pressure on the quarterback from individual players. Mark Buchanan played on national lacrosse team when he was younger. Shows you what kind of feet and aggressiveness he's got. If you watch this film, he can really run. He's already in school. He's at left tackle here from Austin High. We feel like all three of the young offensive linemen that we signed are good. Watch him run here. It's just the ability for a guy 275, 80 pounds to move his feet like this. We're doing a better job of getting linemen that can run and be aggressive up front. He can play. All three of these guys could play any of the 5 positions up front. They can really move their feet. This is Luke Pellman. His dad was an offensive lineman for Coach Yeoman at Houston from Brenham. He's 6'7". He plays offensive and defensive tackle. We'll play him at offensive tackle, and again, he can really run. They've moved the ball so well at Brenham the last few